Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to my kitchen. That's Moya's kitchen. Today we're gonna be making some ackee and saltfish and boiled dumpling. Stay tuned to watch me make this delightful Jamaican dish. These are all the ingredients that I'll be using. I do have 2 cups of flour to make my dumplings. That's not included right here. I have my saltfish, a tablespoon of all-purpose seasoning. There's no salt added to that seasoning. I have some vegetables all chopped up. I have my black pepper and of course my ackee, which is the canned ackee because that's what we have access to right now. So let's get right into it. First thing that I'm doing is I'm washing off the salt off my saltfish just before I start boiling it, and I'm using a smaller piece of saltfish because to be honest that's all I had at the moment, so I'm just using this. But I'm only gonna boil this for 15 minutes and that's it because it is a small piece. My saltfish is all done boiling, and as you can see when it boils it looks like nothing, but watch and see the finished product. I don't like too much saltfish anyways, so yeah. Next step is for me to go ahead and start making my dumplings, and I have 2 cups of all-purpose flour again, and I'm just gonna sift it here, and I'm gonna show you guys how I make these. Next I'm gonna go in with a tablespoon of salt. Next I'm gonna incorporate my salt with my flour. I mean, you can use your hand here, whatever suits you. I'm just mixing it well. I'm gonna go in with some cold water, and you want to use cold water when you're making dumplings. And the only thing I'm gonna do here is gonna bring my flour, bring everything together to create a dough. The greatest part about this is if you add too much water, you can go ahead and add a little bit more flour, and if you add too much flour, of course you're gonna need water to create that nice dough. In making dumplings, it does take some hand work, you know, so it's a nice way to work out your hands. So I'm almost done making my dough now, and it doesn't have to be perfect. You're gonna eventually roll these and throw them in a pot of water anyway, so yeah, that's it. I rested my dough to the side and I added some water to a pot, and I'm gonna bring it to a boil with a tablespoon of salt before I start rolling my dumplings. Now it's time for us to create our dumplings, and I have a piece of dough, and as you can see I'm just rolling it around in the palm of my hands, trying to get it as smooth as possible, trying to tuck all the sides in, and then I'm gonna pinch the top, tuck it in, and try to smooth out the sides. And there's many techniques to doing this. There's no one way. Whichever works for you or whatever way is easier, that's fine. Again, there's not one way to doing this, and this is just my way of making dumplings. So this is what my dumplings look like, and they don't look too bad. Alright guys, let's go ahead and start adding these to the pot. The cooking process for this is not long. It takes approximately 20 to 30 minutes to get these fully cooked. Now it's time for me to prepare my ackee, and the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drain it, and then once I drain it I'm gonna use some hot water and just scald it off, and that's what I'm doing right here. Now it's time for me to pick my saltfish, and there's not much to pick because it is a small amount, but I'm just breaking it apart so it can be distributed nicely once I add the ackee and everything else in it. Next, I'm going to start frying my vegetables, and I'm going to add my pimento seeds, garlic, onion, and scallion first, and some thyme. Make sure your pot is not too hot, else it's going to start spitting all over the place like mine is right now. Next, I'm going to go in with my bell peppers, and we're just going to saute these. We're not going to fry them obviously because they would burn, so we're just going to saute these for a few minutes or so before I add the saltfish. Once they look nice and caramelized, go ahead and you can add your saltfish, mix it nicely together, and you can cook for a few minutes or so before adding the ackee. And I didn't add a lot of oil, as you can see. Now I'm gonna go in with my ackee, and I'm gonna mix this gently. Then I'm gonna add my all-purpose seasoning, And again, there's no salt added to this because the saltfish already has salt in it, so you really don't need any more seasoning. Maybe just some black pepper. And there I am adding my black pepper right now, and I'm gonna mix this nicely, and I'm gonna let it sit for a few minutes before it's all done. And again, this is a very simple dish. It's easy, only few ingredients, and it's a Jamaican national dish, ackee and saltfish. So I love cooking this in my home, so I'm sure you'll enjoy this as well. Alright guys, my boiled dumpling and ackee and saltfish is all done, and this is what it looks like. And I tell you, this smells so delicious. I wish you guys can smell this. We're definitely gonna enjoy this tonight. Alright guys, this is Moya's way of making ackee and saltfish and boiled dumpling, and I'm having it with some plantains as well. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and turn on your notification, and you can pretty much eat this at any time. It can be eaten for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. That's the best part about this dish, and I'm sure you guys will enjoy this. All right, I will see you guys in my next video. Take care, walk good, and God bless.